My name is Jeff, and my YouTube channel is El Jefe Reviews. My goal on YouTube is to simplify headphones and earbuds for general consumers. I was kind of always that guy that was like buying gadgets on payday and stuff, and I was like doing written reviews on Amazon and like on Facebook, but engagement was kind of like non-existent. I was part of a YouTube community with other YouTubers. Like I wasn't doing YouTube, I was just a viewer with some PC tech channels, and the engagement that they were getting, I was like, see, that's what I should be doing something like this. A little bit less than a year into it, started getting some affiliate income, little by little, 50 bucks here, 100 bucks there. Fast forward 2 years, and I started making like my first combined $1,000 a month AdSense and affiliate revenue together per month. And that was a game changer for a single income family. But yeah, I definitely didn't have a game plan. Much like many other creators, it's like you go into it just to make YouTube videos and you end up becoming an accidental business owner. My actual sponsors who wanted to do any kind of paid work probably came in around the 2-year mark, when I was already passing around 5,000, 6,000 subscribers, and I was getting good, views on the videos. Like the first one, I didn't know what to price myself at. So I kicked them a number. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that for $1,000, something along those lines. And they're like, yeah, that's way outside of our budget. Classic response. But they came back to me offering me an affiliate deal. And so I asked another creator friend of mine who had more experience, and was like, well, what do you think? And they said, yeah, you know what, you should because the affiliate deal was like a 10% deal. They said, listen, hit them at 25%, negotiate down. And we ended up landing at 20%. Definitely nervous, definitely very green at it, and didn't have a lot of resources to ask. I mean, I would ask other creators, but even them weren't sure either. Like I was just trying to piece information from where I could, but I never even thought about trying to find someone specifically to hire or to ask these actual questions. So Justin, it was actually about 2 years ago, I would say, he actually made an appearance on vidIQ's podcast. I happened upon the podcast, I think like maybe a week or two later. And what really blew me away was the conversation, his experience level, listening to just a podcast, not seeing him or any of his videos yet. His vibe and his energy from what he was saying, it felt authentic to me. And it felt passionate, like he cares enough about other creators that he wants to help them make not only as much money as possible, but doing it the right way where everyone wins, and creating good partnerships and good relationships with brands. And just his whole mindset, like when I was listening to him talk, I'm like, there's so much experience, there's so much knowledge there. They were asking him questions, but it was like, how do you reach out to brands? How do you talk to them? How do you start these partnerships? He talked about deliverables. He talked about, those things that like really blew me away, like content licensing and 30 days and 60-day licenses and like all this stuff. And I was just stopping it and taking notes, and stopping the podcast and taking notes. And I was like, this is freaking gold. I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to talk to this guy at some point, but in the meantime, I'm going to try to see like what other podcasts has he done. And I subscribed to his YouTube channel, started watching his videos and stuff, and then I followed him on socials as well. I was working with this company, and we were already doing these one-off deals, but going back and forth, doing the contracts, going through their legal department, everything was just over and over and over. And I said, listen, we already know that we're going to work together for the next couple of years, assuming everything goes well with them and they don't do something dumb. How can I figure out a way of doing this one time for a year as a long-term thing, knowing I'm going to work with them anyway, so we can sit down once, hammer this out once, and then we can just freely work together for the rest of the year. And that's sort of what I approached Justin with. And what he taught me that really kind of blew me away was the questions that I needed to ask the brand, so that I could gain clarity around what their goals were for the campaign, but also so we could find a middle ground where everyone involved was going to win. Like, how can this be a win for all of us? Not just, hey, I'm getting a payday, deuces, I'm out of here, but they're happy as heck too, and that they want to come back. So that was the biggest thing. But also him going into content licensing, putting limitations on that stuff. Like if they go over 30 days, there's going to be a fee. If they go over 60 days, there's going to be a fee. Are they going to use this for paid ads, or how are they going to run this? Going on that stuff. Also diversifying payment options. That was like splitting up the payments and then letting this business pay a deal quarterly was actually what got that deal across the finish line. We did the one time, basically like one-on-one, but he did a lot of follow-ups. We were following up via email and kind of going back and forth and getting things done. So within 90 days of that consultation, I had already 4x, 5x what I invested in the talk with Justin. And that's why I was just like, so after that, I was already telling other people, like, you guys need to This is your guy. Like, if you want to talk to somebody who really knows what they're talking about, like, you need to talk to Justin. So now I mean, for the $1,000 that I've invested, I've probably pulled something, if I had to do the math, somewhere between 70 and 80K out of that $1,000 that I invested. So, I mean, that to me was the best $1,000 I've spent pretty much ever in my content creation career. Was with Justin. And I've done a lot of different coaching. I've done, how to be a better YouTuber, how to grow my channel, how to do all this other stuff. But this in and of itself was the most game changing out of anything. I do get reached out to by some brands, but he changed my mindset around, why am I waiting for them to contact me? Why don't you contact them, right? But even just having this whole framework of, what do you do before you even contact them? What should be in place, right? So basically, he gave me the mindset of being an ambassador to a company before I ever reach out to them, so that when I do reach out to them, it's not a cold thing. It's like, hey, listen, last year here's, the Instagram post I did, here's my Twitter post that I did, here's the video that I did, or the multiple videos that I've done on your products, here's how my audience received it. I was thinking maybe we could, work together. And by then they're already going to know who I am. And just having that mindset, that approach, but also doing it that way, it's like, if I think, hey, I want to work with Sony, I'm going to start doing product posts about them, like on Twitter, organic stuff on Instagram, maybe even TikTok, do a couple of live streams about them, do a couple of videos about them, then reach out and say, hey, so are you guys interested in a partnership at some point? My audience likes you guys. I like you guys. I think we could work together, and pitch them something. The whole idea of even pitching them, like coming to them with ideas. But now it's more about, I'm reaching out, or we're reaching out and saying, hey, here's what we would like to work with you. Here's what we've already done with your product. And here's kind of the traffic we gotten, and just changing that whole mindset, both in the cold emails, also in maintaining communication with these brands, even after things are already done. Like, hey, how do you guys feel about how that went? How did sales go? Follow-ups. Like, I have a follow-up coming up next week with one of my, other long terms that, we just want to follow up, because we just did our first couple of, streams and social media posts, and I want to make sure that they're happy with how that turned out. The other biggest change is just having much more steady revenue this year, despite the fact that, like, ad revenue is dropping, affiliate revenue is dropping, but my partnership revenue is actually going up. If you can afford it, definitely look into Justin's course to get you on the right path, because his course wasn't around when I was first getting started, and I really wish it was. Because that would have been such a game changer. I can't even imagine where I would be now with, like, if I would have had this knowledge like 3 years earlier. Oh my Lord. So that's a big, if you can afford it, because there's a lot of people who think, oh, it's a lot of money. You stand to make so much more with the knowledge than by winging it and hoping that brands reach out to you.